Have you run into a situation, especially if you're an adult gamer, that you're thinking about that perfect day where you sit on your gaming chair, pick up the controller or the keyboard or mouse and get your favorite drinks and snacks and just decide to sit and game for a good few hours and get immersed into another world completely? It is the perfection of that moment that appeals to you. You want to recreate that moment that's in your head into reality. But the moment you sit down to game, you feel like your drive and your energy is not there anymore. You just don't feel like gaming anymore. But the idea sounded nice. And that is what I'm here to talk about today. I want to tell you that you're not alone in feeling like this. I feel the same. There are many people who feel the same. And I just wanted to talk about a few things that we can generally be aware about so that, this idea of distancing ourselves from first-hand experiencing games just not become a habit, that persists forever and on. So yeah, without wasting any more time, let's begin. First and foremost, getting excited about games is just part of the process of enjoying this form of entertainment. The part where you're not having the desire to play the game should not stop you from getting excited about games. I'm here to tell you that's okay. Staying in touch with the latest trending stuff in gaming is just you being passionate about something. And if you enjoy getting hyped up about upcoming games, then you should not let that feeling die. Following on the same point, you should also be making a conscious attempt to not let others' viewpoints about a game dictate what you like or don't like about a game. I've seen this happen many times, especially in today's day and age where there's countless number of video game reviewers, publishing websites, content creators, streamers, who all are dumping their views, especially on the first launch day of the game. What ends up happening is on a subconscious level, when you sit down to play the game, your views about the game or your excitement is marred by the general perception of the game. And that may lead you to not liking the game already before even starting playing it. So I would say just sometimes curate and probably filter down the amount of reviews and early impressions you're getting about games before launch. The third point is going to be more about a reality check. And that is, don't try to create these perfect gaming moments that are hard to live up to. Life is sometimes going to throw you curveballs, both professionally and personally. And sometimes you have to carve out a moment of respite amongst all of this mess. The older I get, it just becomes harder to get to this hyperbolic, perfect gaming moment. And what I do instead is just find out an hour or two of gaming in between downtime at work, or let's say staying up a little bit later towards the night. This image of you getting this perfect zenith moment of gaming is just not going to happen. And it's just better to accept it right now and enjoy what you have. Okay, the next one is going to be a little bit of a harder pill to swallow. Sometimes you do have to put in a little bit of work to get into the grooves of enjoying any form of entertainment, be it books, movies, TV shows, and even games. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Sometimes I feel you need a little bit more push to get started on a new game or a new TV series or a new movie. The world has kind of conditioned us to get these short-term adrenaline rushes from consuming 4 to 5 minutes of content. And there's years of training that has happened, and you're just not ready to sometimes sit down and experience a game that is 10 hours, 20 hours, to 30 hours long. So this kind of conditioning has made us be more excited about the idea of gaming than actually playing the games. So you have to just fight that habit, is what I'm saying. The second last point that I want to talk about is, with the limited amount of time we have to game as we grow older, there are usually two mindsets to think about when you get into the groove of gaming. First is, you don't have a goal in your head. You just want to experience games and in an organic fashion. Pick whatever game you choose, get down to game, and just have fun. That I think is a good mindset to have, because games should not feel like tasks. They should not feel like some chores that you have to do. But the honest truth is, the older you get, the lesser time you have to spare for recreational activities. And with that kind of constraint in hand, it's sometimes good to have this big picture idea of the kind of challenge and the kind of game that you want to play when you sit down to actually play the game. It could also be some kind of mini goals that you keep for yourself. Like, I'll give an example. When I think and sit down to play an RPG, I'm already thinking in my mind that I have to achieve these kind of objectives in the game, like maybe farm some materials, grind some levels. Similarly, for single player games, I'm usually thinking I just need to make sure that I have to complete a chapter of Uncharted today when I game. These kind of objectives will just help you stay motivated when you spend that hour or two while gaming. Because if you leave it to the end moment when you sit down to game with the limited amount of time you have, more often than not, you can run into a choice overload, especially with the kind of backlog that we have these days. it can become overwhelming very quickly. So yeah, just to avoid that, it's always good to have some kind of overall goal that you want to achieve while you're gaming, especially if you're spending, let's say, an hour or two every day. Okay, so the next point might not apply to everyone, but I would advise to just reduce the amount of content you consume on streams and let's play of various games, especially the ones that you're planning to play yourself. The idea with watching these streamers who have these great personalities and sometimes they have invested so much time into the game that you're interested in that they're doing these crazy things inside the games, and that just sets a wrong expectation for your own gaming session. You become this overly ambitious person trying to recreate that streamer's experience, and what ends up happening is the moment you start the game and you're seeing that it's much more fun to watch the person than playing yourself, you'll just gravitate towards doing the easier thing, which is to just consume the stream. That's why I would advise, for especially games that you really are excited about playing, to just maybe avoid streams or let's plays, especially in the launch window maybe, but when you're done with the game, you can go back and see how other people are enjoying the game that you just spent time enjoying yourself. Lastly, the most important point is it's okay to acknowledge sometimes that a particular moment is not right for you to game, maybe due to professional reasons or personal reasons. It's okay to take some time off from gaming and take a small hiatus and come back when you have organically the inkling to play some games. It could be this historical liking for games that is forcing you to maybe think that, hey, I should maybe game at all moments of my life. But that's just far from the truth. There are times when you can experience gaming burnout, and this could be due to various factors and various external and internal factors. It's important at that moment to acknowledge that there's lack of motivation to play a game and divert all of that energy towards something else that interests you. The worst thing that you want to do is completely kill the love for gaming that you have. And trust me, you don't want to do that, especially as you grow older. So yeah, these are some of the things that I wanted to talk about, especially if you are someone who feels like you like the idea of gaming more than actually playing. These are some of the things that you can keep in your head, the back of your mind, just be cognizant about. And yeah, let me know in the comments what are some of the moments where you felt like you experienced the same situation, maybe for a particular game, maybe some particular moments in your life. But yeah, that was it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.